Hello there. I'm Jackie Edwards. I'm the head of the newly established Box Fresh BFI Young Audiences Content Fund. As the fund is so new, I have absolutely no beautiful imagery to show you, no clips, no data, and worst of all, no graphs. I do apologise, but maybe I can come back next year and show you all of those things. What I'd like to talk to you about is what the Young Audiences Content Fund is, the reasons behind it, and some practicalities around it if you're interested in applying, and why wouldn't you, and our ambitions for the fund. Bear with. So what is the BFI Young Audiences Content Fund? Well, it's £57 million worth of non-recoupable funding to support the content creation of public service broadcast for young people under the age of 18 in the UK. Yes, I did say non-recoupable. It's as I say, it's to support UK public service content for young people, supporting development awards, production awards, and targeting all audiences. It's a 3-year pilot, and we're going to be looking and seeing what we can do within that time. So why? Why have the government gifted us £57 million to share with producers of young people's content? Well, public service content for young children is in a lot of trouble. The last decade has seen a massive and profound decline in the provision of this programming for young people. There are a number of factors around that and why that's happened. Fragmentation of audiences is a big factor. Children are not one audience. They range in ages, from preschool to teenagers, their interests, their hobbies, expectations, behaviour, where they come from, what they like. And now, in these days, children have a wide choice of what they want, what different things to watch and where they can watch it and when they can watch it. There's a range of platforms, apps, video-on-demand services, as just discussed. All of these things mean that children are watching less live scheduled television and more on-demand content. But children are watching less live scheduled television, and between 2010 and 2017, live television viewing dropped by 40% for children aged 4 to 9 and 47% for children aged 10 to 11. But alongside fragmentation, there's been a series of other unfortunate events, and I've gone too far already. So everything from remove the tax credit in 2002, and I know we've got it back again now, but the gap in those years meant that the UK public service landscape sort of fell behind other territories in many regards. The removal of quotas around children's programming on commercial public service broadcast platforms, specific restrictions around high-fat, salt and sugary foods around advertising to children, and just a general decline in advertising revenue generally. Please see fragmentation. The net effect of this is 40% less spend than in 2006, and it also means that 98% of children's content in 2016 Ofcom reported were repeats. 98%. But does this decline matter, you might ask? So what, you might say? Video-on-demand channels, platforms, commercial channels, children have plenty of choice, right? They love the SVODs and the YouTubes, don't they, the kids? They do. But what do we want our children in this country to have? A diet that consists largely of international content on platforms that are unregulated, often behind a paywall, where they can easily stumble across not only age-inappropriate content, but things that can be quite harmful and upsetting. The government white paper on online harms is testament to some of the risks and dangers around this. Moreover, and I think this is a really important thing for us to bear in mind, a lot of these problems are very cursory curation. They mostly utilise algorithms to continually offer more of the same content. This narrows young people's horizons rather than broaden them. Which is why we need public service content. We need shows that reflect the lives and experiences of all kids in the UK on free-to-access, regulated platforms, shows that help make sense of their world, shows that speak their language and reflect their lives. And this is why the government funded this pilot initiative, to support the provision of quality, compelling, engaging content that entertains and also reflects and informs their lives and expands their horizons. So, how are we going to be doing it? Ofcom have identified key programme areas of need. content deficits, and these are sort of informed largely our primary objectives, but not all of them. We're here to support high-quality programmes, especially for older kids, and shows that help them understand the world, quite important these days, I think, and allow people to see themselves and their lives reflected on screen. But mostly, we're looking for great, powerful, impactful content that is going to attract audiences. So, we are supporting shows that exhibit public service characteristics for sure, but we're inviting applications from producers for shows in all genres, from drama, comedy, factual entertainment, documentary, current affairs, and any technique, live action, animation, mixed media, puppetry. But as long as they display public service characteristics, please do apply. We evaluate all of our applications against these fund priorities, and our very rigorous evaluation framework is built around these priorities. I might add that our evaluation process is very important, as assessing the fund's impact on audiences will be crucial to its future after the pilot life. So we're making shows that make a difference. Everything from high-end drama, teen content, Indigenous language programming, current affairs and documentary from new talent, representing the underrepresented, supporting shows that would not otherwise have been made. And we're working closely with broadcasters and supporting their commissioning choices. Ultimately, the shows that will be produced are about the broadcaster taste and tone of voice, because plurality in the public service landscape is key. We all want choice in our lives, and children should have it too. So these are the things that are on offer. There's a development funding opportunity. You can support all sorts of development activity. There is no cap in the funding available within reason. Please justify and show your workings, thank you. There's no need to have a broadcaster attached for this development funding, but certainly have somebody in mind. New voice is a priority. And again, this funding is largely non-recoupable. The only circumstance where it would be recoupable is if you ended up making the show with a non-in-scope broadcaster. There is also some lovely production funding available, and the fund can contribute up to 50% of production budget, but the producer has to come to the fund with an in-scope broadcaster, that is a free-to-access, Ofcom regulated broadcaster with significant UK audience reach. So that's your ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5. BBC are in scope at low priority because of the licence fee. Producer also has to have a minimum of 50% of their budget in place. And if the licence fee contribution from broadcaster isn't quite getting you there, you can access tax relief, regional funding, you can look at pre-sales. And so, you know, every show we're seeing is sort of a mixture of these things. But the best thing about the production funding, again, it's non-recoupable for the life of the pilot, so it is really quite magical. So the question we're asking ourselves with the fund is, can we attract audiences back to public service content? Can we take on the FANGs, the AVODs, the Globals, by offering original new content that innovates and excites, represents and reflects the audience? Well, I think we can make a start with this fund. We're at a crossroads of content consumption, and this is a truly thrilling opportunity, and one that broadcasters and producers have emphatically embraced. Until we make our first slate announcement in the autumn, I can't really talk about specifics, hence no graphs, apologies again. But we've had over 100 applications of truly exciting and thrilling new content for audiences. Comedy, drama, news and current affairs, documentary, it's all there, and it's an absolutely fantastic opportunity. We want to get great content in safe places for all audiences. It's a really important thing. So we'd love people to talk to us about the fund and ideally to apply for the fund. This is indeed a unique opportunity to shift the public service landscape in the UK. So the fund is now open, so please, if you have any interest, please grab me later or go to the BFI website. Thanks very much.